God give me this light. Sometimes it's overwhelming.
Singer icon Beyonce mentioned over 100 times in Epstein file.
And even after some of these horrific allegations, even if it were just alleged, some of the things that happened in the Epstein files are alleged. Captains of industry are going down.
Girl, it's playing out exactly like the script we all predicted. Beyonce is doubling down on her man despite Jay-Z's name popping up in those leaked Epstein files. Hold up, not only is Queen Bee acting like those disturbing allegations don't exist, but she just hit Instagram with these ultra-polished, very calculated shots of her and Jay-Z living it up at the Super Bowl. You won't believe this, but we all know Beyonce never hits post by accident. This entire rollout is curated to send a loud message that she's standing 10 toes down beside him without her having to utter a single word. But here is the thing. That tired old strategy of playing silent and mysterious while waiting for the storm to pass just isn't hitting the same anymore. For a whole generation, Beyonce has been able to float right over every scandal without ever having to give the public a real answer. Think about it. The endless rumors about Jay's side flings and that alleged son he refuses to claim. Or how about the way he supposedly undercut Colin Kaepernick's movement while cosplaying as some pro-black revolutionary? And then you got the massive Diddy cloud hanging over them. Yet we're supposed to believe the Carters were besties with him for decades and never saw a single foul thing. Every time the heat gets turned up, it's the exact same play from the Beyonce PR machine. They offer no comment, keep the wheels turning, and act like the noise isn't there. Then, right on cue, here come the airbrushed visuals to distract you. Maybe it's a surprise album or a new brand deal, just something shiny to keep your mind off the truth. And like clockwork, the Hive lines up to drop an entire month's rent on concert tickets like their memory just got wiped. So, at what point do y'all actually stop and ask yourself who you're really worshiping? If you've read even a tiny piece of those released files, you know we are talking about something truly dark and sinister. This isn't just some Twitter tea you can scroll past and forget about by next Tuesday. Listen, even if Jay-Z and Beyonce haven't been charged with a crime, people are saying the mere fact that their names are even in this conversation should make you hit the brakes. You can literally see the shift in the culture happening in real time. More people are finally finding the courage to say we need to stop treating these celebrities like they're untouchable gods. One person who isn't scared to dive into the deep end of this talk is Hughley. He's out here telling fans they need to wake up and realize that stars like Beyonce have absolutely mastered the art of psychological influence. According to him, the public has been conditioned to bow down to these icons without having a clue who they are behind closed doors. And while you're busy being a soldier for your faith, you might not even realize you're worshiping something truly evil.
We even gonna say these concerts. Y'all real life be going to rituals. Real life be going to get hypnotized. What is this? This what y'all is spending 2 racks on? Y'all spending 2 bands to be a part of a ritual?
Look, DL's entire argument is that some of y'all seriously need to quit acting like these billionaires deserve your worship just because they are black and gifted. Hold up. There is no such thing as an ethical or moral billionaire in this game, regardless of their race or what's in their DNA. Girl, the reality is that none of these elite figures actually deserve a single ounce of your sympathy. Listen to this. You don't get to that level of wealth without some questionable moves, and your loyalty isn't being reciprocated. You won't believe how many people are blinded by the talent. But at the end of the day, a shark is a shark.
As oblivious as billionaires tend to be when they see society suffering, is as brilliant as oblivious society tends to be when they see billionaires. So it's a reason the Bible says it's easier for a camel to pass through an eye of needle for a rich man to see the kingdom of heaven.
And for everyone out there defending Beyonce by claiming she's just an entertainer and doesn't owe us a statement, hold up. D.L. Hughley basically said these fans need to snap out of it because that weak excuse doesn't hold weight anymore. The specific causes Beyonce chooses to champion with her massive platform versus the scandals she meets with total silence actually tells you everything you need to know about her true character. I couldn't agree more with that. Girl, what you choose to stand for, or the people you align yourself with politically, is a direct window into your soul. It's a literal map of what you actually believe in when the cameras aren't flashing. But wait, there's more to this. DL also highlighted how the very same systems that birthed Epstein and the networks that still shield him have completely hijacked the entertainment industry. Every single one of these mega celebrities, regardless of how woke or polished they act on Instagram, is active in that same dirty game. And make no mistake, Beyonce is absolutely not the exception to that rule. That is exactly why this situation is hitting her brand so incredibly hard. People spent years building her up as this untouchable, flawless deity. Meanwhile, she was literally out here telling you to bow down while calling you a B-word, yet y'all still lined up to hand over your hard-earned cash just to see her perform. And now, the very second Jay-Z's name surfaces in those Epstein files, Beyonce decides to flood your feed with these airbrushed, perfect photos to project that unbothered energy. Yeah, well, listen to this. That tired old move isn't flying with the public this time. Beyonce has already watched millions of her followers hit that unfollow button. If you take a second to scroll through the comments on her latest posts, the Beehive isn't exactly throwing hearts and flowers her way. Instead, people are shouting that both she and her husband are headed for a downfall because these allegations are just too demonic to overlook. You won't believe this. One person commented, "The sheer audacity to act like everything is normal." Another user kept it even more real, writing, "Your silence is the only answer we needed. You're literally part of the problem." Another user didn't hold back either, commenting, "You and your husband's downfall is right around the corner, baby." Now, if you're sitting there wondering if Jay-Z is the only one getting dragged into this Epstein mess, hold up, no. If you actually head over to the DOJ website and dig through the files for Beyonce's name, you'll see she pops up exactly 9 times. Girl, of course, this doesn't automatically mean she's committed a crime, but the fact that her name is even in that dark database while she stays silent is enough to make anyone side-eye her. Now, let's actually look at what these files are saying. There is one specific email where both the sender and the recipient have their names blacked out. The message simply asks, "Could you please get me redacted tickets to Beyonce's concert, please?" From everything we've gathered, the only names being redacted in these documents belong to Epstein's victims or his inner circle of accomplices. So it really makes you stop and wonder who was so desperate to see Beyonce and why Epstein was the middleman for these tickets. But you won't believe this, it gets even weirder. There's a separate email sent to Epstein from his former assistant, Leslie Gruff. The subject line literally reads, "Beyonce tickets for the girls." In this exchange, Leslie tells Epstein that certain girls, whose names are hidden, likely because they were victims, are asking to see Beyonce. She even asks him exactly how much cash she should drop per ticket. Now, you would think Beyonce would at least try to put some distance between herself and this filth, or show a shred of sympathy for those victims, especially since these emails suggest Epstein was literally using her shows to entertain them. Like, how do you even wrap your head around ignoring that? Beyonce built her entire multi-million-dollar brand on being this feminist icon and a voice for female empowerment. And yet, she hasn't whispered a single word about those young women Epstein hauled off to her performances. To be totally clear, Beyonce isn't being charged with any wrongdoing here. But listen, optics are everything in this business, and the fact that she's not just keeping her mouth shut, but actively flooding our feeds with these ride-or-die photos with Jay-Z, whose name is linked to even darker stuff, says it all. Just like D.L. Hughley warned us, you need to watch what these people actually do, and exactly what they choose to use their loud voices for. That tells you absolutely everything you need to know about the state of their souls. Girl, Beyonce's recent choices are shouting way louder than any perfectly staged Instagram grid ever could. It's not just the fact that she's keeping her mouth shut, it's the way she doubled down by dropping those Super Bowl visuals, looking all cozy and unbothered with Jay-Z, just days after their names were swirling in the Epstein chatter. Now the speculation is reaching a fever pitch, with some fans wondering if Beyoncé's involvement goes even deeper than those ticket requests suggest. But I want to hear from you guys on this one. Does Beyoncé's decision to stay silent essentially mean she's complicit in the cover-up? And how does it sit with you that Epstein was allegedly using her concerts as a playground for his victims? Do you think she owes the public a real explanation, or should she keep playing the silent queen?